Go.
Okay, I'm out here with my, of course, my Awana 3 3/4 multiplier, 2-to-1 multiplier. This is probably the best buy and the best spay reel on the market. This probably is similar in quality to a Sarcione, and I know you pay like $3,500 for one of those. But this is a very nice reel. This is extremely nice. It's tight, it's functional, it's got a drum drag. It is a very high quality reel. They don't have many problems with them. There's been a lot more guys using them in the last 3 or 4 years. They haven't been out that long, but they're very legit, very good looking. This one has a drum drag on it. Totally a great reel. I mean, I don't have a big line of bullshit. All I know is they are good. Okay, and so the rod is a C&D gravity competition, 15 foot C&D competition 1, G1. Gravity, 15 foot competition G1. And I have like a 74 foot ballistic shooting head on it. It's a ballistic comp line, okay? So it's like really long. I had to borrow it. But anyway, dadgummit. Let's talk about casting a longer line, because I know a lot of you guys are wanting to advance from Skagit and Scandi into a little bit longer line. And so the best way, I'll tell you the best cheat code right off the bat when you're casting a longer spay line is to get your hands up really high. So with this line the other day, I was river left, wading up to my balls, working on my snake roll cast, and I had to like kind of just rough out the cast to get used to the new rod, the new line, the length of the line. And the biggest tip I will say, not the total, okay, the biggest thing you have to remember to do is get your hands up high before the forward cast. So when you cast, you lift, sweep, and then get them up here, and then cast. And see, that one barely turned over. So lift, sweep, drift high, and cast. Cut it. Okay, so number 1 tip is get your hands high. Okay, so you do all your lift, sweep, and then get your hands high, but you got to get them high fast because gravity is going to take over. And no matter how you do your lift, sweep, and all the prepare stuff, you sweep and get your hands up high and then cast. And I mean, if you're struggling, get your hands up really high, okay? High like this. Okay, just get the cast going. Get the cast going, and then you can always, as you get your timing and your rhythm and your tempo and all that stuff, then you can slowly get a few good casts and lower it down. Just keep lowering it down. And then if everything goes to heck, get your hands back up and do it in such a timing fashion that the bottom of the D loop does not stick on the water, okay? That is the primary thing. But there's also some other things that are a little more counterintuitive that you have to do. And one of those is when you're doing all your casting, you have to keep your hands from getting back behind your head. You don't want to cast like, see, I don't want to cast like this. Okay, that makes it tough. Now, let's see if I can really. If I get my hands up, I can. But my shoulder is already kind of not liking that. So what we have to do is concentrate on, just like if we were doing a roll cast to reposition, we have to concentrate on keeping our hands in front of us. Okay, and we're doing our bottom hand stuff. Really trying to get most of the power out of the bottom hand. Okay, so keep your hand in front so you won't be going like that, because that's gonna just like give you real shoulder fatigue. Ready? Okay, so make sure that everything is in front of you, more or less. We don't want to be yarding that top hand back. Okay? Okay, so the other thing is, okay, there's a lift and a sweep and a circle up and maybe a drift and a cast. But the idea is, I like to blend all those together. No matter what anybody says, it's kind of a continuous motion, kind of, until the forward stroke. So I'll lift, sweep, circle up, and cast. And depending on the situation, I might like pause in the firing position before the forward cast, so I might go cast like that, okay? I might pause, I might not. If your timing is perfect, you don't really have to have your hands super high, but this line is so long, 74.5 feet, that if I don't, see, that's one of the better casts, and it was just touch and go, none of the drifting up high and all that. So you can get to where you don't have to do all your high drifting, all that stuff, if your timing is good and you can just kiss that leader off the water. I got about a 15-foot leader here. I'll reposition it. Okay, now I'm going to do no big high drift. Okay, so when you're casting a long line, the other thing that helps is throw your forward cast while your fly line is coming backwards, okay? So you lift, sweep, and then don't wait for it to land. Don't wait for your anchor to set. You're gonna lift, sweep, and cast as it's before it touches down. Okay, I got good anchor placement. I didn't have to go through all the histrionics of this stuff, but I've had to do a lot of casts to get to that. So that's like 4 things you can worry about. And so try to just use all these ideas as just guidelines, just ideas, just thoughts to kind of go back to, but don't think, oh, it's got to be, my little toe's got to be over here to the left. And so we video everything, because if I tried to tell you everything in words, it would be so stupid, and it would be like I was reading out of the book. And reading out of books is not the best way for everybody to learn. So reading out of books isn't for everybody. But videos are very helpful because you can see that this is all super simple stuff. No big words are required. Okay? It's all practice. Okay? All practice. You want to get a good light anchor. You want to just anchor the leader if you can, or maybe, depending on length of line, a foot or 2 of line, but you don't overthink that part. You don't overthink anything. You just practice and practice and practice. Practice all the casts. Get your hands up high. Work on your timing. It's timing, tempo, rhythm, and everything else. The other tip I will give you through all casting, is you got to be fluid. It's got to be smooth, and it's got to feel heavy. If you don't feel the heavy weight, the load on the rod, the line bending the rod. See, I'm after heaviness and smoothness, fluidity. You slow down so you can feel the weight, and you just gradually, you gradually accelerate. You don't just, you know, and I've tried all that. I was like, well, what's wrong with my snake roll? Oh, I know. I got to really accelerate through the end. I got to go fast, faster, faster, fastest. That's not what works. You just have to keep contact, graduate just throughout a little bit. Don't overthink that. That's even though I'm open stance, I'm going to keep my hands out in front a little. There's a good cast. Lift. You start with a lift. Smooth, gradual acceleration into the firing position. Get your hands up. Sometimes you got to get them up in a real hurry if you're just starting, and then you can relax into your tempo. But it's all about getting a really nice anchor with a really tight D-loop and getting there to that firing position without slack, with tension, and then the right lightness of the anchor. Anchor placement is important. It's light and it zips off the water just at the right grip, not too much. So, but keep your anchor kind of out in front, especially with the longer lines, because the more out in front of you it is, the closer to the target is. And then it's just all about getting that light anchor, getting your hands up, and then backfilling all that stuff until you've got a nice tight casting stroke.